Hello, everyone. My name is Jasmine Sadler, and I'm here to present because lots of people ask me, how did I even think of creating a STEAM university? So I wanted to present today on the origins of a STEAM university. So this is like the early years of Jasmine. My brother, my best friend, coming out the womb, he always was wrapped around me. And then my parents, they're both computer specialists. They're both retired. But my early years, this is me when I was my first time performing was figure skating. So I skated at a very young age, then became a dancer, then did softball and golf. So always been artsy and athletic. And based on kind of that, I love capturing the beauty of lots of things. That led to me being the yearbook editor at one point, but just loved everything about aesthetics, cameras, and then found out as an engineer, I could design cameras too. And so it just kind of was through my life that I would design and build things. I spent a lot of time with my dad because my parents had the same job, but my dad would be there after school. And so I designed and built my own stilts. I designed tree houses, lots of things growing up. And so I became an entrepreneur, would sell candy and started making some crafts for my dad and his friends, and then also started tutoring my own classmates in algebra in 8th grade. So lots of things. And based on that, I thought I wanted to be a CPA. So a certified public accountant, because I loved math and I loved money. And that was kind of like the overarching theme of everything that I did as a child. And so my parents put me in DAPSEP. That was kind of the cool thing, the Detroit area pre-college engineering program. And so we did website design, ACT prep, college tours, and that's where I got exposed to more types of engineering. And then in high school, there's the Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. And so like many girls, altruism becomes a real thing where it's, you want to give back, you want to help. And that's why I decided to be an aerospace engineer. And so I had several different internships while I was a college student. So this is me inside of an aircraft engine. I think I was 19. Yeah, and that was in Ohio. I also worked on wind turbines and some drones. Then I studied abroad in Hong Kong. I told Sade about that earlier. Her background is Hong Kong. This is me on the Great Wall of China. But the biggest lessons, I finished my math minor there. We got to do some global travel, and I made some lifelong friends all over the world. So after that, I had my first job. This is probably the most boring slide because that was the most boring job that I had. And within 6 months, I realized this isn't going to work for another 30 years. And so I lasted 30 months total there, so 2.5 years. And I had to make a real big life decision, adulting for the first time. Do I move to Minneapolis to get an MBA and start my life as an entrepreneur, or do I move to sunny San Diego? And so luckily, you all know what happened. And so the big lesson from there after moving to San Diego was on contentment and realizing that I wanted to start a company and what do I do for free? So I was doing some math tutoring, engineering presentations, and then managing projects around engineering for kids. And so the first big break, and so this is Aisha in the picture. She was the only other Black woman that did aerospace with me. And we had a camp in the Bahamas. She had a camp and invited me. And that's where I first got some of the ideas for a STEM and STEAM camp. And so during my MBA, I became really curious on Black professionals ever thinking that they're going to make it to the C-suite in the company, being a working student, and global education as a whole based on all of my experience. And so this is me after graduation from my MBA. I looked great, but sleep deprived, stressed, and depressed because I was getting the same salary as when I started the program, really stressed out, really had pink eye, lots of bad things going on there. And then I realized, I was already a CEO and I was an engineer for 10 years and I was an entrepreneur for 5 already. So that math and money came back in, that was part of my life and who I already was. And so, as you all know, I started this program with the intention of like a monocultural university, having all Black people, having all Black women, or K through 16, and realized this was my real group of people. And so now it's kind of, this university is around professional development for the success of Black women in STEM, doing STEAM applications and cultural proficiency together. So hopefully y'all learned a little bit about the origins of the university and how I even thought of that. Thank you.
It reminds me of the article we read earlier. I'm an auntie, I'm a sister, I'm a mother, I'm all of this. And that is your heart work into why you do what you do and how important it is for us to know that and see that passion.
Thanks.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think that the different sides of you, it's very rare to meet people, which I'm sure you hear this all the time. So art, science, and all these different, it's usually either one left side of the brain or right side of the brain. So it's very it's always interesting for me to meet people who have both sides and they use it as well. So very, very excited about your future.
Thanks.
And I think because you have both sides, like this, your story is what like all young girls need to read about and like hear, and that it's okay to have both and not fit the traditional stereotypes that young girls face around like elementary and middle school. And suddenly they have to like, they go in one path or the other, and it's okay to enjoy feminine things and be an engineer and have those traits. It's almost like sometimes they're not respected. You have to display more masculine skills. So to have someone be a leader and display both is very powerful. It's like a role model for young girls. So your story needs to like be told to all the young girls and adults, because I feel like I'm learning so much from you.
I was thinking that too. It's really great because the trajectory of how you got to where you are is an awesome thing to see, because a lot of times we have this vision of how it's supposed to happen. But the fact that you can be a successful Black engineer is amazing. And even, you can go this way and still be amazing and still give back and support those, which is awesome. Like Maysoon said, I think girls need to see that. I think that they need to see that you can be creative and a dancer and love all of these things, but yet, be really smart and into the sciences and math. I think it's very powerful for all girls of color. I mean, Latina girls too. I think that you can inspire anybody who is non-white, really. I mean, white girls too. I mean, I love the personal touch on that, Jasmine. That was great.
Yeah. For me, I'll tell different parts of that story depending on the audience, but to actually have it all the way put together, like these are the major milestones, and I, probably could have or would expand in another way of just like how all of that really came together as like going to all of these different types of educational schools, studying abroad, and what that actually brought to my experiences that will be in this university. But yeah, it's just showing you guys what's been in my head all these years.
Hey, Jasmine, I got a random question. I heard that when you go to like a lot of Asian countries, they stare at Black people and take pictures with you because they don't see us. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I was gonna put that picture like that, and we took a whole lot of pictures. We're like, yeah, I'm Beyonce. Yeah, and they're like, oh my gosh, took pictures with us. But then me and my roommate, she went to Michigan too, and she was studying abroad with me. And so we both have natural hair and really curly hair. And when we went to Beijing in particular, everybody's like, your hair is like Buddha. And so Buddha over there has like the coils all over the head. And it's just like, your hair is like Buddha. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And then they would take pictures of that too. That was true.
Jasmine, I'm not sure if you realize it, but you did Dr. Mayrod's project that she wanted us all to do. You should tell this to her.
Send it to her. Send it to her.